Well, I think I would probably risk saying that the EU might be already losing its patience with the UK, with the British government actually negotiating with itself, and the Chequers meetings again is a sign of that. But I would say the EU leaders have actually delegated Brexit negotiations to the European Commission, to Michel Barnier. So he does a great job actually representing them. So I'm not really sure whether Theresa May's visit to Berlin or to other member states will be successful, because at the end of the day, David Davis or Ollie Robbins need to come to the negotiating table and discuss it with Michel Barnier.
But given how little time is left, right? Like now the expectations have moved to October. October could be the very last chance. We've also got European parliamentary elections next year as well to contend with. Given how little time there is, do you think that that pushes up the probability of a no-deal scenario?
I think a no-deal scenario and the chances for a no-deal scenario are rising. I wouldn't exclude that scenario, and that's also what European leaders underlined in their conclusions. Business needs to prepare for this. Having said this, I still think that the breakthrough could be achieved. Perhaps not in October, and I'm not optimistic about October, but I think, you know, if there was a breakthrough in December, that wouldn't be probably the end of the world, but still that would make it more difficult to react to some unpredictable events. But to make sure, you know, don't get me wrong, Michel Barnier definitely set the October deadline for concluding the negotiations, so that both the European Parliament but also Westminster have enough time to analyze the text and to give its consent to it.
Just on today's proposal, but we'll likely see this proposal, we don't know actually, at the Chequers meeting tomorrow. This concept of the UK being capable of applying its own tariffs and yet at the same time still continuing with frictionless trade with the EU, is that going to be acceptable?
I must say that I have an impression that the UK is, or basically Prime Minister May is trying to convince her cabinet members to something which will be actually outright rejected by the EU. Her proposal, which you mentioned earlier, facilitated customs arrangement. In a way, it is a fudge between customs partnership and this max fact that you described. And one of the key elements of that proposal would be the UK tracking goods coming to the British market, and actually whenever the good is going to the EU markets, then the UK would be applying customs, EU customs, which from what I hear from European stakeholders, from EU officials, the EU will be reluctant to allow the UK to collect its customs on its behalf. Also because of some bad experiences with, you know, Chinese imports and OLAF concerns in the past.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.